This is kind of a random question, but it's something I'm very interested in. We've never asked anybody about this.
Uh-oh.
What do you think, and I know this happens a lot on both sides of the aisle, this is the famous one though, of course.
Oh boy.
Of Nancy Pelosi's trading techniques.
So what do you mean the stuff with her husband or just the timing of the trades?
Investments and the timing and the success.
I think,
and buying calls on, NVIDIA, which is a pretty...
I think it's very suspect. I would like to see something much more extensive than what's already in law passed, where neither you nor your immediate family are allowed to trade. I mean, listen, I'd have to devote a little more time to it. I think certainly individual stocks. What about mutual funds? I don't know. I think you shouldn't be forced to divest if you're serving in the House or Senate, but you probably have to say, I'm either selling everything or I'm locking in and I can't touch it while I'm in office.
See, I think that you should there's a few options. One is just index funds and ETFs.
Yeah.
Just ride the entire market. That's the most easy to implement. But the other thing is right now there's a 30-day or it's like 45 days notifying period. If you buy a stock, you have 30 days to disclose that.
And it's not the exact amount, it's a range that you have.
Yeah, it's a range like 0 to 10, 10 to 50, 50 to 100. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
But the penalty on that is like a few $100s. Like it's very little. So if they report 2 weeks late on that and they report 2 months in, it's not that big of a deal. I think it'd be interesting to have it live, so that if you want to make a trade, it has to be publicly available for 24 hours. And all of that should be like, at this point, we shouldn't have any reason why it can't be live. Like on a
technologically speaking, it can be done.
On a dashboard somewhere, Congress's trades, and you see the upcoming trades for one day. Just has to be public. And then they're allowed to trade whatever they want to, but it's there.
That's super
And the public could
interesting.
do with it whatever they want to.
I don't know what would be legal and feasible. My inclination is to want that level of transparency. And as is always the case, when you talk about imposing restrictions on public officials, you'll have some people who come out and say, well, you're going to the more restrictions you put in, you're going to disincentivize people from even wanting to run. That's not always necessarily bad. You might disincentivize some people from running who we don't necessarily want if their goal is to legislate in order for to impact their own pockets. Now, I don't know enough about the specific trades Nancy Pelosi made. I know that there was a Tesla-related trade that garnered some controversy. I don't know enough about exactly what she did to be able to come here and say she definitively was acting on inside information. I just don't know enough about it. But my instinct is we need more restrictions here. We need more transparency. That's always my inclination.
Yeah.
I will put up some data, a screenshot right here to either approve or deny what I'm about to say. But if I remember correctly, a recent very famous trade Nancy did was she bought, I think it was around $1 million or high six figures worth of NVIDIA calls, which call options are something that you do to leverage your money.
Yes.
So she's extremely bullish on something. And also, if public data is true that her net worth is right around a certain amount, she put in a significant amount of her net worth in something that is highly speculative.
Yeah.
Which I think already looks a little bit suspicious. And then, of course, it went up some crazy amount.
I think the argument is that she's passing legislation or on boards that has a direct impact on the stock.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That's really what it is.
That's
right,
the
but
obvious.
but you can reverse engineer that from.
Yeah, I know she also had some bad
leverage.
calls. Remember there was the Pelosi tracker in like 2021. She had a series of really bad calls there when the market dropped.
They're
like
not all winners.
And then a few
Roblox.
people got fired, and then the trades got better.
The trades got better. She started legislating a little more. No, Roblox is a big one. I think she put some money on that. It lost almost all of it.
I heard she's actually like a leaderboard player in Roblox. And that's how she was familiar with the trades.
That makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. No, listen, she's obviously not the only person doing this, but she,
There are people on the right and the left.
as Speaker of the House, she was getting a lot of attention. I do think her net worth numbers are like inclusive of or
Her
related to
husband.
her husband.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's a factor which probably makes it not nearly as much of their collective net worth. But I don't have. Listen,
it's like 300.
the last thing I'm going to do is defend Democrats or Republicans' trades that look at all suspect or lacking transparency.
Yeah.